Harris leans into populism with proposal for middle-class and lower-income tax relief. Vice President Kamala Harris on Friday unveiled a populist economic agenda, proposing a new plan to provide tax relief for more than 100 million middle-class and lower-income as she builds out the details of her governing agenda weeks after locking down the presidential nomination. The vice president proposed her economic platform, which includes measures aimed at making housing, groceries, healthcare, and child-rearing more affordable in a speech in Battleground. It comes as her rival, former seeks to pin blame on Harris for the spike in inflation since she took office. Harris's proposals largely build on economic platform, reviving or extending temporary measures that congressional enacted in major packages when the party controlled during the first 2 years of term. Harris said she would build on the foundations of economic progress made by the Biden administration. Still, we know that many don't yet feel that progress in their daily lives. Costs are still too high, and on a deeper level, for many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard just to be able to get ahead, she said. She said a defining goal of her presidency would be to build what she called an opportunity economy for the middle class. She also vowed to rein in the rising prices of goods like groceries and take on price gouging. As president, I will take on the high costs that matter most to most, she said. I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy and playing by the rules. But some are not, and that's just not right, and we need to take action when that is the case. Before his departure from the 2024 race last month, struggled to articulate and defend his economic record. Harris is seeking to sell an amped-up series of progressive proposals with a more forward-looking message, one that pledges to strengthen the middle class and take on big businesses that she says bear the blame for rising costs. The nominee's release of her economic agenda comes days before Democrats gather in Chicago for the party's convention, where they will seek to draw contrasts between vision and economic record. Harris on Friday took aim at economic proposals, particularly his calls for 10% to 20% tariffs on imported goods, costs that experts say companies would pass on to consumers by raising prices. The vice president said proposals would devastate the middle class, punish working people, and make the cost of living go up for millions of. He wants to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that we import from other countries. That will devastate. It will mean higher prices on just about every one of your daily needs. A tax on gas. A tax on food. A tax on clothing. A tax on over-the-counter medication, said. At this moment when prices are too high, he would make them even higher. Harris' new proposals would require congressional approval, and she has not specified how she'd pay for her costly wish list at a time when the federal debt is swiftly rising, other than saying she would ask the wealthy and large corporations to pay their fair share. Those details will come later. People familiar with the matter tell as team plans a series of rollouts on economic policies centered on specific themes. All told, the package could increase deficits by $1.7 trillion over a decade, or $2 trillion if the temporary housing provisions were made permanent, according to an analysis by the FRA. The watchdog group noted that certain details are lacking for a full analysis. Harris's plan would restore the popular expansion of the child tax credit to as much as $3,600, up from $2,000, and call for it to be made permanent. The enhancement was only in effect in 2021. Biden leaders have been unsuccessful in their efforts to partially revive it, in part because of its hefty price tag. A bipartisan bill that would have temporarily beefed up the child tax credit passed earlier this year but was blocked in the Senate. The proposal would also add a new child tax credit of up to $6,000 for middle-class and lower-income families with children in their first year of life. That's when a family's expenses, such as cribs, diapers, and car seats, can be at their highest, and when many parents have to take time off from their jobs, the campaign noted. The agenda also calls for restoring the enhancement of the Earned Income Tax Credit, known as the